Thank you. Have a good day. I gotta walk pretty far, so I said, fuck it. I might as well do another live. I gotta walk all the way to the mall, and then I gotta walk back. You know, our point on Earth, bro, our main mission as men is to build and procreate. You feel me? You know, our main mission on Earth is to build and procreate, but some men won't be able to do that, man. Unless they get the bag, man. Then procreate will be a lot easier. I'll tell you, man, when you're rich, you can spit out babies just like that, with no struggle. You know, a smooth transactional process. You know, there'll be no struggling. There'll be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I remember when I was younger, I had just entered a relationship with my ex-girlfriend, man. You feel me? And she was trying to plug herself up because she didn't want to get pregnant by me, man. Guaranteed, if I would have been rich, she would have never had plugged herself up. See, when a woman is trying to plug herself up, that means something. That means you're not the one that she want to have babies with. And me being dumb and stupid, I kept playing along. You know, I'm like, wait a minute, the other motherfucker that you had a baby with, you didn't plug yourself up for him. When you was having sex with him, you didn't plug yourself up. But when it comes to me, you want to plug yourself up. That's what I would have. That's what I would have told her or asked her or something. I'd be like, wait a minute, you had a baby with Chad and Tyrone, but when it comes to you, I gotta get the diaphragm. You know, my ex-girlfriend, she did that, bro. She got the diaphragm thing, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Where there's a little string or a little, I don't know, man. But there was a string in her coochie, man. I used to put my dick in there, and I used to feel it. Even though when I was hitting it, I could feel the little string thing where she had plugged herself up. You know, it was like more like a rubbery string though. Like there was a plug and there was a string attached to it, so she wouldn't get pregnant by me, man. And like I said, man, if I would have been rich, if I would have had the bag, she would have had a baby by me, man. But because I didn't have my money together, you know, and I was young, I was 26, she plugged herself up. Okay? Another chick I was dealing with, she did not want me to come inside the coochie. I was messing with this female a while back, you know, and hold on one second. I can't even hear nothing right now. Okay. All right, so we back. Got a loud ass noise, man. So anyway, so when your money ain't together and you ain't no bad boy, you ain't no Chad or Tyrone, these women are not trying to have children with you, bro. You feel me? Some guys gotta go out and become rich so they can get a family. Some guys gotta get their bread together so they can have a family, bro. Like Chaz and Tyrone's and Pookie's and Ray Ray's, women would let them slide, okay? Get them pregnant and everything. But when it comes to you, oh no, you gotta wear a condom. You can't come inside the coochie. You could probably hit it raw, but you gotta pull out, because I can't have no babies by you. You know, you just not the one, man. If a female tell you, hey babe, I went to the doctor and got the diaphragm thing put inside my coochie. Now you could bust nuts on the inside and I can't get pregnant. It's like it's a form of birth control, man, that they put in their coochies. That's what my girlfriend did, man. And I keep saying this time and time again. If I would have been rich, she never went to go get that diaphragm thing. She would have been trying to get pregnant like right away. Right away. You know, even Thai girl, when I was busting whole entire loads inside of her, at one point, she was like, you know, when I was hitting it from the front, right? She was like, oh, no, don't come inside. Because I was busting all kinds of nuts on the inside. I never pulled it out, not once. When we had sex over and over again, I made sure I stayed inside when I busted the nut. Okay? But at one point she was like, no, pull out, you know, outside. I said, nope, I'm staying on the inside. And she said, okay, that's fine. You know, I gotta take a pee right quick. And she was like, oh, okay. But it was just like, for her to resist for only one time, they let me know, like, damn, I don't want to get pregnant by you, you know, unless you got bread. See, it makes it so much easier to have a family when you got a lot of money, man. Females want to get pregnant by you when you got that bread up. You feel me? I can't go over there, man. There's a bunch of wasps over there. Fucking bees and shit. So that let me know that some men gonna have to get their bread up and get the bag to make things easier when it comes to starting families and stuff. Cause I know a lot of people, including the motherfuckers that follow me, you know, they want families too. You know, they want to have children, but some guys can't, unless they get their money in order. You feel what I'm saying? You know, everything is super expensive too. Don't forget about that. Cost of living has went up dramatically. You feel me? Cost of living has went up. And females, they don't want to have babies. It's too expensive. Unless you pull up with the bag, then okay, their legs are wide open. Go ahead, don't wear a condom. Bust all inside of me. It's okay. You rich. you know, but they set boundaries with you, man. You a good guy. You ain't no thug or nothing. You know, all of a sudden their standards go up for you. But for the Pookies and Ray Rays, standards drop. Okay? Chaz and Tyrone, the standards drop. These men can pass on their genetics like with ease. And these motherfuckers don't even have to have their shit together. They don't have to have money. You feel me? You know, these motherfuckers don't even have to have money. They just let them bust nuts on the inside. But with you, oh no, I need to, you know, you need to wear a condom. You need to be this, you need to be that. Let me tell you, Tyrese, man, if he didn't have his money, you know, females would have never had made it so easy for him to have a family, to have kids, shit like that. But since he's rich, he can pump out babies, man, with ease too, you know. You know, they feel more secure. So we can take care of the baby. We got money, you know. But let you be a good guy that's broke. Okay? Let you be a guy that's not a thug, you know, walking around with your pants sagging. You know what I'm saying? You know, you will have a hard time passing on your genetics. That's why me, Hellcat, bro, I'm on this money mission, man. And then I gotta have a family, man, if I want to be taken care of when I get old, because old age will come, believe it or not. You know, it's just a matter of time, you know. If you don't die before old age, it will come. Then who's gonna be there for you, man, when you're old, you know? Your children is the only ones who are gonna be there, helping you around the house. Cause all this stuff is physical around the house, man, and you gonna have a hard time doing it. You know, like me, it's getting harder and harder for me to sit down on the ground. I noticed that. That's why I started doing squats. You know, I'm gonna need a son or a daughter to help me around the house, man. You know, when I'm old, I'm gonna need a son or a daughter to watch TV with. Because when you're old and retired, or if you got retirement checks or whatever, or you hit enough, ooh, shit, that squirrel. You got enough money, that squirrel was dead on the ground. You got enough money to retire and shit, and all you doing is watching TV every single day, waiting for death. Your son or daughter gonna be there. You know? Help, you know, and watch TV with you and shit. You know? That's another thing. I'm calming down on the drinking, so I can live a little bit longer. If I'm gonna have children, I'm just gonna have to calm down on drinking. I can't keep drinking long term every single day. I'm just not gonna last long like that. I'm not gonna last long at all. You know? But some guys gotta get their bread up so they can have families and stuff. But I mean by bread up, I ain't talking about just blue collar work. I'm talking about white collar work, you know, hitting a few jackpots, becoming a doctor, lawyer, movie star, you know what I'm saying, getting the bag, you feel me? Some dudes gotta become rich to pass their genetics on with ease. You feel me? That's the reason why I ain't got no kids yet, bro. But look, if I would have had the bag a long time ago, Hellcat would have been had kids, man. Because I would have been drawing so many women to me, and so many women we want to have your kids because you're rich, I would have been had, uh, a kid by now. But since I've been broke, it's been a struggle, man. But they'll let the Chaz and Tyrone do it to them. And here, listen to the kids over here. It's the fact that women, they set different standards for you as a good guy that's not a thug or a bad boy. They sit different. They'll fuck you. Like some of these females, yeah, they'll fuck you, but they won't have no babies with you. They set different standards for you. But the Chaz and Tyrones and the Pookies, they let them bust nuts on the inside without this shit together. Like, no, you gotta have your money together. I'll have sex with you, but we ain't gonna have no family together. That's how my ex-girlfriend treated me, bro. I shouldn't have been with a 35-year-old woman anyway when I was younger. 26 and she's 35, bro. She's 9 years old. 9 years older than me, bro. I had no business in that relationship at all, bro. I had no business being with her. She was too old, bro. I should have been with a young woman, bro. What the fuck was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that, man. All that stuff about, biological clock and all the other stuff. I didn't know nothing about that when I was that age, man. If it was me right now, I would have avoided her, man. I probably wouldn't have slept with her, man. I probably would have had higher standards. Because when I was younger, I realized that I could have had better looking girlfriends and stuff, man. I just had low ass standards when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? I could have did better than her, looks wise, body wise. Because I was sleeping with females that had better bodies than her, who were younger than her, behind her back. Yeah, I was sleeping with younger and more attractive women behind her back. She had no body whatsoever, man. All she had was some titties, but after a while, them titties start sagging. I'll never choose an older female to be in a long-term relationship ever again. I never will. You feel me? A female that's 10 years older than me in a long-term relationship? No, she got to be 10 years under, 15 years younger. I say 15, man. Like a 30-year-old. Sometimes, man, you just got to aim right, man. Stop aiming wildly. Just aim straight for the target, man. At this point in my life is to get the bag and get a young female to impregnate, to carry my seed, man. And I gotta hurry up because time is not. I mean, I got time, but I ain't got a whole lot of time. Because I don't want to start having children. I don't want to have children at 60, man. You know what I'm saying? I think guys who have children at 60, they're very irresponsible. Because they're not going to be around. They're not going to be around that long. If you having babies after age like 60, bro, it's like, come on, man. Stop being irresponsible. You don't know how long you're going to live. Some guys think they're going to live forever. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, they set different standards for you than the Bad Boys and the Chads and Tyrones, the Pookies and Ray Rays. It's just Pookie. I guess it's just Pookie, right? They used to call them Pookies and Ray Rays, but now it's just Pookies. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have your money together. You can't be busting nuts inside my cooch without your bread together. But yeah, they'll have a kid before you, and that motherfucker didn't have to have his shit together. But you let him come all inside of you. But I gotta have my shit together? That shit don't make no sense to me, man. Like I said, my ex-girlfriend, she already had a kid by a tall dude. I don't think he was a Tyrone or a Chad, but he was tall. He was like 6 foot something, you know. But she let him bust nuts inside of her without any of his shit together. Okay, dude didn't really have his shit together. Had a baby with him, but when it came to me, oh no, I need to plug myself up. You see, that's why I don't like dealing with single mothers, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, let the bad boy just come out. Let the bad boy, you feel me, come inside of her without his shit together. But now, when it comes to having a baby with me, I gotta have my shit together. I'm like, ain't that a bitch? And it's like, okay, whatever. Okay. You know, that's reality, man. Hey, women are the gatekeepers, bro. They're the gatekeepers to sex, bro. You know. You know. Yeah, my ex-girlfriend, yeah, she was making around 150K. Yep. She just didn't want to have a kid by me. That's what it was. You know. You know what I'm saying? You know, she didn't want, she just didn't want to have a kid by me. She just wanted to play with me. You got women out there like that, you know. They'll let you hit it and, you know what I'm saying, they'll play around with you and stuff like that. But when it comes to babies, oh no. Nah, we ain't gonna have a baby with you. But I'll have a baby with the 6-footer. I'll have a baby with Chad or Tyrone or Pookie or a Bad Boy. I'll have a baby with him. But with you, we set different standards. And I spent like 12 years in that relationship. And I didn't get nothing from it, not even a child, no kids, nothing. I should have left that bitch the moment she plugged herself up. The relationship should have been over. I should have been like, well, since you went to go plug yourself up and we're not having children, I gotta leave. We gotta break up. I'm sorry, I'm here to lay a foundation. I'm here to replicate myself. That's my job on earth to do. But she been burnt by the last tall. My thing is, I take it that she was burnt. She got burnt by her tall Chad Tyrone boyfriend. That she didn't want to go through that again, And I understand that. But that's why I don't want to deal with single mothers when I get the bag. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to pay for the other motherfuckers bad deeds. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta pay for the other motherfuckers, his evil doing. You know, motherfucker be doing evil with a motherfucking bitch, and she turn around, she take that shit out on you. That's why it's good to get a female with the bag that has no children. No children. You gotta be the first. You gotta be the first one to tear that ass up and then impregnate that ass. Cause I don't want to. I want to take. You know what, bro? I don't want to take care of Chaz and Tyrone's kids, man. I don't want to take care of the 6-foot bad boy's kid, man. The motherfucker that was taller and better looking than me. I don't want to take care of his kids, bro. The motherfucker don't look nothing like me, bro. You feel what I'm saying? You know. I don't want to take care of nobody's kid. I'm not a good stepfather, man. Me and my ex-girlfriend daughter, we didn't get along. I didn't like her, she didn't like me. I don't want that in my household where nobody's getting along. I don't feel like being a somebody's daddy when I can't really be the daddy, you know? You're being the daddy, but you're not really being the daddy because you can't discipline them. You can't whoop them. And was her boyfriend black or white? Her ex-boyfriend was a white guy, tall, Chad. I don't think it was a Chad, but he was tall. You know, my thing is she got burnt before, she don't want to get burnt again. That's what they scared of, man. So you get the scared version, you know, of her. You get the worst version of her. You get the I'm scared to get hurt, or I'm scared to have a kid and things go left, you know, because things went left before. You know what I'm saying? Things went left before. Why not go left again? That's what they think. So that's why you don't never deal with single mothers, man. You know, get the bag, get kids of your own, bro. You know, because Sabrina was tall. She was like 5'9". She was around my height. Sabrina was tall. My ex-girlfriend's daughter, she was tall, bro. And I'm like, God damn, how tall is her daddy? Well, daddy was 6'2". You see, they let these tall niggas just come up inside of them and shit. But when it comes to a 5'9" nigga, or a nigga who ain't got no bread, they telling you to pull out or wear a condom on it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to have no babies with you unless your money's together, man. That's why I say, man, a lot of guys won't see families until their bread is straight. They set different standards for like good guys, bro. But they set a totally different standards for bad boys and Chaz and Tyrone's. See what I'm saying? So I realized that, man, until my money is straight, I won't see no children. You know what I'm saying? You know, women, they make it easy for you to bust nuts inside and have children with if you rich. You know, you got money, a lot of money, they make it too easy to have a family with them. I noticed that. When you broke, oh, you gotta wear a condom. Oh, you gotta pull out. You can't come inside. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was dealing with this one female, man. This is one of the massage girls, man, I dealt with a while back. And she was letting me stick it in raw. But she wouldn't let me bust on the inside because I wasn't the one. She didn't want to get pregnant by me, man. But she'd let me hit it raw and stuff like that. But she didn't let me come on the inside. She was like, no, you gotta pull out. You gotta pull out. So I kept pulling out. Every time I was about to bust, I kept pulling out. But guarantee, bro, if I would have pulled up in a Porsche or a fucking Audi R8, you know, which is a $150,000 car, she would have let me stay inside, busting us on the inside. You know what I'm saying? So that let me know, like, these females have dealt like that. I mean, these females had did me throughout my whole entire life like that. You know, wear a condom. You know, they don't feel comfortable with having children by me and shit. You know, they did that shit my whole entire life, man. I was wondering why I ain't had no kids. I'm 45. It's because your cheddar ain't straight. They don't want to have babies with your shit not together. You're not a bad boy. You're not Chad Rome. You're not Chad and Tyrone. You feel what I'm saying? These guys can get away with a lot. Now, you talking about the Chad or Tyrone, best believe these women will let them, like, bust on the inside, you know. But you, yeah, you'll do. You look good enough to fuck. You're not top tier, but they'll fuck you, you know. But having babies with you, nope. See, that's the difference between when you're fucking and then having children. You feel what I'm saying? Those are two different things, bro. You know, those are two different things. They'll play around with you and, you know, like a toy and shit like that. But when it comes to having children, nope. Like I said, I guarantee for my ex-girlfriend, if I would have made it in the music industry and blew up, she would have been taking that diaphragm out of her coochie to let me come inside so we could have children. But she was already 35 when we met. I was so fucking stupid, man. You see, these type of women are not marriable. You know, they're too scared to take a leap, you know, and have children again. You know, they're scared the same thing gonna happen again. You know. And that's why I had no kids yet. Because ain't no woman want to have children with me, bro. I was a boy toy my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? Just a fucking playboy. A playboy boy toy. A playboy boy toy. That's all I've been my whole entire life. Not somebody that can settle down and have children with, but a guy that can get it on because maybe you got like a six-pack or some shit like that. And that's what I had in my 20s, and I still have it a little bit. It's coming back, matter of fact. You feel what I'm saying? But had nice body, young, 24, 25. They're not trying to settle down with you. Like Gwen, if I had my money together, I would have impregnated Gwen, bro. But the whole entire time I was wearing condoms with Gwen. I never did like fuck her raw. I came inside her mouth. She gave me blowjobs without the condom. And she even licked my balls. Man, that bitch was freaky, man. Gwen was freaky. She was a freak in the bed. Ooh. I still remember that shit, man. Gwen had a big ass and some big ass titties. Them titties was perfect shape too, man. They were like huge teardrops. You know what I'm saying? Big ass here. Ooh, don't even get me started. With Gwen, boy. One time I let Gwen sit on my face. Her nose started bleeding. I think I told you guys that already. But I was like 24 years old, man. That was years ago. That was like shit. That was like 26 years ago. Or 20, was it 21? Like, yeah, 21 years ago. Yeah, 25, 2005, 2004, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't 25 yet. I dealt with her in 2004. And she was the one that I would like to have children with, man. You feel what I'm saying? Women want financial security from a man, even if she makes her own money. Yeah, I understand that, Scott, but there was plenty of bad boys and chads that didn't have their money together, and they let these guys bust all up in them without the condom, without birth control. You know what I'm saying? Why do you gotta have your shit together and they don't? You feel me? You gotta have your shit together, but the Chad and the bad boys, they didn't have to have their shit together. You know, I'm talking about a female that already got one, like a kid by a bad boy. And if you're dating a single mother, you know, oh, put on the condom. No, can't have no children with you. No. That's how they are, man. You know, if you don't, even if she doesn't have any kids, you don't have bread together, they set their standards different from you. You dating a female without no children, you know, they set different standards for you. But the bad boy, he ain't got no standards to go by. Bad boy, Chad and Tyrone, they pass their genetics on with ease. But with you, oh no, you gotta have your bread together. You know. So, wait. So that's why I say some guys gonna have to get that money together in order to pass on their genetics. You know, they gotta have an easier time. And blue collar work for some men gonna work, man. You know, I think what's his name? Savvy guy. You know, he's studying to be an engineer or some shit. I don't think that's gonna save him really from the situation that he's in. I mean, it could, but most likely it just ain't gonna work. Because he's having a job, really. You know, that's just a job. It's not really it's a career, but he ain't gonna be putting money in by the boatloads. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something, even Savvy guy, if he would have became a Hollywood celebrity, he would have been had kids by now. Think about that. Take time out to think about why a lot of men are childless, bro. Okay? A lot of men, these women, they set totally different standards for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I would have had my money together, I would never made it this far without children, bro. Unless it was my choice. You know what I'm saying? To get a vasectomy and not have children. But I want children. And these females, they ain't gonna let you just come inside them like that without their shit together. But they'll let Chad and Tyrone do it though. They'll let the bad boy do that shit. A lot of guys are childless because of the bread, man. Like you said, it's been about the money for a minute. Hell yeah. Like, let's say it blew up, hit a $13 million jackpot. I'll have every single female that recognized me from getting that jackpot on TV, that recognized me for that, they will approach me in a minute and be ready to have babies within months of knowing them, bro. You feel me? You know, that let me know I gotta get my bread together if I want a family. Because getting older, you know, and it's gonna be lonely when we get older and older in our old age, man. You know? So it's like, okay, we're gonna have to get the bag together, man, and so we can have children. You know, a lot of these women, they're more comfortable with you and your money. You know, they're more comfortable with letting you come inside the coochie without a condom when you got that money right. You know, you ain't got your bread together, they're gonna be like, oh no, you gotta wear a condom. You gotta wear a condom. See? That's how women are, man. If you've been asking yourself, how come I haven't had children yet? How come I'm older and I'm childless? It's because women are very selective about who they have children with, and selective about who they just want to have sex with. You know, you might be the guy that's good for fun, but not the guy that's, you know, to have children with. You feel what I'm saying? She'll just have fun with you, but she'll settle down with the motherfucker who got his bread tight. Let me tell you something. Thai girl, I was busting raw nuts inside of Thai girl, and then when a motherfucker pulled up with the bag, she all of a sudden she stopped seeing me and started seeing him. And this guy is 10 years older. And he was sub 5, okay? I could tell by the picture when she sent me. You know, she sent me a picture of the motherfucker. You feel me? But she was having fun with me. But with him, it was all business, man. She wanted to have babies with him. So Thai girl, she started messing with me, man. I was pissed off, bro, because that was my only like outcome of sex. Oh, what am I saying? Outcome. My outlet. That was my only outlet for sex, bro. At that point, when Thai girl got taken away from me, and yep, you know, men don't give up, bro. They'll take your girlfriend, especially in today's dating market where motherfuckers are desperate. They'll take your girlfriend. They'll take your wife nowadays. It doesn't matter. That's why if I ever like take somebody's girlfriend or wife, I wouldn't have a conscience, man. You know, I wouldn't feel like I wouldn't feel any remorse, because I have gotten girlfriends and stuff taken away from me when I was coming up, you know, and they didn't care, you know, what they thought about it or what I thought about it or how I felt about it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no sympathy for me, like, oh, I took his girlfriend from him. Oh, maybe I should give it back to him. Nope. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. You snooze, you lose. That's the end of the game. So I said, okay, well, you know what, bro? When I get the bag and if I steal somebody's girlfriend, that's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? And you a rich guy, man, you steal somebody's girlfriend easy, man. It don't matter who she with. You pull up with the bag, she leaving him. You feel me? And she'll turn around and have your baby. I guarantee Ty Girl had that dude's kid, man, already. Guarantee it. Because he had his money together. I guarantee Ty Girl somewhere pregnant, or she done had a child. Because that was like nearly, how many years ago? I was like, man, when did I see Ty Girl? What, I think that was 2018, 19, somewhere around there. But it was before the pandemic. Yeah, it was around 18, 19, after me and my girl broke up. You know, guarantee she had his baby already. She wasn't gonna have a baby with me. You know, I'm gonna start a family within 5 years. Yeah. Once I get the bread together, hell yeah. Got to. Or I'm gonna be old and alone if I don't. You know? So, get to it, man. You get that bag, you'll have you'll have an easier time having children, man. That's why guys why a lot of men are childless, man, because they ain't got their money right. And females, they don't feel comfortable with you coming inside, you ain't got your money right. Gee, if I had my money right, I probably would have knocked up Ty Girl. We probably would have had a child. We probably would have had a child already. You know what I'm saying? But since my money wasn't right, and his was, she went with him. That let me know that a lot of guys ain't gonna see no families until they get their money right. For real. You know, that's just the way the world works, man. That's the way women work. You know? If I would've got that bag in my 20s, bro, I probably would've had like 4 or 5 kids already. If I would have became a successful individual in my 20s, I probably would have had a 20-year-old already. I'm 45. Yeah, I would have had a 20-year-old already. You feel me? Because I would have had a kid at 25 years old. Damn, I'm old enough to have a 20-year-old? Shit. A nigga getting old out here for real. But I gotta go. You guys have a good day. I just wanted to make that live on my way to the spot because I had a long way to go. You guys have a good day. I'm out. Peace.